Bed Bath & Beyond stock tanked down today by 20%. Some of the weekly call options are down anywhere from 70% to over 90%. In this video, we're going to talk about what's happening with Bed Bath & Beyond and why one stock had its best day in almost 2 years and is projecting to have double the revenue growth than originally expected. So stick with us today, guys. We have a couple things to talk about that you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. But Tom, everyone's been talking about Bed Bath & Beyond over the past couple weeks. Earlier in the week, people were roasting us, or some people were roasting us in the comments about how the short squeeze is not even getting started, but it looks like it's not doing too well.
Yeah, it's really not. Like you said, down 19% today at close. And then now in after hours, it's down actually even more, pushing down to that low of day towards like 1620 at the bottom. So yeah, it's definitely having a terrible day here. Honestly, the past 2 days have been pretty bad for it. Yesterday, it ran up in the morning and hit 30, but then we saw that big rejection. Ever since then, we have not seen any positive movement. And like you said, Mike, we've been actually talking about this all week long. And, while it was having a lot of momentum early on in the week and it was looking pretty bullish for a while, at some point here, you have to say, hey, this stock is finally getting overextended. When you go out to a daily chart, we were hitting on some huge resistance levels, guys. Like $30 was a huge level that we've hit in the past on different gaps to the upside, just like this. So it's very interesting to see that double top up there at 30. But either way, we came right back down, Mike. And we've been warning all week long to be careful trading some of these calls. And like you said, they're down anywhere from 60 to 80% if they're out of the money. Even the in the money calls, Mike, are down anywhere from 30% to 60% even in some cases. So it's just an insane stock. And honestly, that options chain was brutal today. Even look at the puts, Mike. Even those ended up closing down quite a bit today.
You beat me to it, Tom. Bed Bath & Beyond is down 20%, and even a lot of the puts are down anywhere from 20% to 70%, and this is because of the ridiculously overpriced options on Bed Bath & Beyond. And we've been talking about this for a couple days, and we especially talked about it in yesterday's video with the 80 strike calls for January 2023. Long story short, with Bed Bath & Beyond, it's overextended. Anything can happen in the short term. It is a very volatile stock and it will continue to be very volatile. It can go up tomorrow. It's possible, but is it worth the risk? That's the main question you have to ask yourself. And to me, it is definitely not. But hey, it's a wild stock. And to me, it's still very overextended.
Yeah, exactly. It's overextended. And look at this move down here in after hours. It's starting to really kind of plummet down through some pretty big supports. And, I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there and stuff like that are going to try to pump this thing up and just straight up like lie to you guys. But, we're trying to be as honest as we can with this. It's just getting way overextended in the short term. I honestly kind of like this a couple weeks ago, Mike. Some people were talking about it on the live streams to end the week last week. And I thought it looked like it maybe had a good chance to break out above like $14, but I never expected anything up towards 30. So definitely blew my mind here. It's doing some pretty parabolic things. And like I said, in after hours here, it's starting to really fall off, but just be careful with what you see out there. A lot of people are going to try to pump this up just to get views and stuff, but we're very objective. We're going to try to find the best stocks out there. But even though BBBY wasn't very good today, Mike, talking about some of the best stocks out there today, CSCO did very, very well with their earnings. They are flying to the upside. They're up 5.8%. It doesn't really sound that much initially, but when you go look at that daily chart, that's a huge gap to the upside. We actually just filled that gap back up to almost $50. So Cisco's having an amazing move with these earnings today. And pretty much, Mike, they beat all across the board. They beat on revenue, EPS. And the best thing is these amazing statements from their CEO, pretty much saying that they have had a record backlog. And now that the supply chains are starting to ease, they're going to start to see revenues flow through. And he also said that we saw easing in the supply chain, which is positive, and they're looking ahead to next year where they feel like that's going to continue. And you can see they actually raised their outlook, Mike, almost doubled it. Analysts were projecting growth for the 2023 fiscal year to come in at 2.3%. They're now projecting 4 to 6%. That is a huge beat over those projections.
Very interesting. You never think of Cisco when you think of a volatile stock, especially today, But yeah, it's really booming. And check out that bottom right corner. We could see that normally Cisco, when it's green, it's only green by 0.86%. That is like nothing. This stock barely ever moves, but today it's up 6%. So that's definitely a giant move. Keep it on your radar. It's very rare to see moves like this, especially out of a company like Cisco.
Yeah, definitely. And we've been seeing a few stocks kind of gap up with earnings this week, Mike. Another interesting one this week was Walmart. You can see they initially gapped up with earnings and did very well, kind of like how Cisco's setting up today. And then the very next day, Walmart popped up, but then started kind of consolidating down. So with Cisco, it might be a good trade for tomorrow if you see it break that resistance around 50. That's going to be a huge psychological level and just a nice even resistance level there. So watch $50 on it. If it breaks that, it might be good for a quick scalp, but always be careful. Kind of go back and look at Walmart for a good comparison, because you can kind of see how sometimes those post earnings moves can kind of get parabolic on you.
Alrighty. Well, Tom, we have to talk about what everyone is thinking related to the market overall, but more importantly, the big tech stocks, especially Apple. Apple is up 35% over the past 2 months. It is extremely rare to see a move like this, especially out of a company as big as Apple, in such a short period of time. So these big tech stocks, while they have so much momentum, they are overbought, and it puts traders in a really tough position day to day, because it's like you don't want to be buying calls on Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon, and Tesla, and the S&P 500 right now, because it's overextended. But at the same time, it's like when you try and play puts, because they have so much momentum, they're just they're not really turning over. So I felt like we should talk about it, because it's like stocks are at like a tough point right now where it's like, it's hard to trade.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. And like you said, the main issue is like early on in the morning, we'll see big sell-offs happen, and then we'll see the market totally recover up in the middle of the day and then reapproach the early morning highs and then just start to consolidate. It's honestly been a very boring like past couple days in the market, Mike, like you said. But one big thing is that with it moving slow like this up at the top, I have a feeling the market's kind of like coiling and maybe getting ready for a bigger move here. And we might finally start to see a good break either up or down, especially with the slow movement on the SPY over the past couple of days. I'm not sure if this move will come tomorrow or maybe sometime next week, but I feel like, we will see some type of big breakout eventually here. Obviously, it'll come at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I see a huge support this week, right around $25. Ever since we passed above that, we've been really holding up above it. We did fall below it momentarily yesterday, but ripped right back through it. I think that's a pretty good support. And then there's a big upper resistance right around 430 and then 432. So I don't know, Mike. It's in a very tough spot. I feel like that the market obviously right now has a little bit more selling pressure, in my opinion, than upwards movement. Like we're talking about, a lot of tech stocks are overextended. So like you said, it's hard to trade, but I feel like if we just like wait it out and maybe just wait for a nice move, then we might be able to finally get into some good maybe plays on some puts or some calls if it does end up breaking out again. But I'm really kind of thinking puts over the next week or so.
Same here, and I think a big thing to keep in mind over the next couple trading days is like, let's head into the market knowing that a lot of these big tech stocks are overextended, but we have to keep in mind that they have a lot of momentum, so it's very possible that they can take some time to roll over. So I think that'll be a good game plan heading into the next couple days. But Tom, it is now time for the momentum plays. With the first one, we have Microsoft to the downside.
Yeah, Microsoft's falling off here. There's a big support around 289. So if they break below that tomorrow morning, watch for some puts to the downside.
Alrighty. With the next one, we have good old Intel, but to the upside.
Yeah, Intel, one of our favorites here. Go ahead and make them break out above, I would say 36.32, right around that high of day. There's also resistance around 36.30, but I would just make it go up that couple more cents.
And with the last one, we have Alibaba, also to the upside.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see Baba recover up a little bit today. These China stocks have been really lagging behind, but I would say if Baba can break above the intraday resistance around 91.11, then look at calls.
All right, so we're watching Alibaba and Intel for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And then we are watching Microsoft for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But we also have to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, and that is Rolla in the Stocked Up Discord. You're extremely active and you've been asking a lot of great questions. So thank you so much for all of your activity, support, and just for being in the chat. Tom and I really appreciate you. Guys, if you want to join a great trading community that's completely free, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. We have a bunch of amazing traders and people in the chat, and Tom and I call out free day trades every single morning before open, and we have one of the quickest news channels in the game. You know, a lot of the economic data that comes out, you can find in our news channel quicker than you will see it on CNBC. Best of all, it's free. Definitely join up. It's going to be that first link in the description and the comments down below. But Tom, heading into tomorrow, what's your favorite stock?
Yeah, I would say my favorite stock for tomorrow, Mike, is actually going to be GLD. I know that might sound a little bit strange right now. It's been falling off over the past few days. It's been really kind of falling down, but I'm going to kind of watch for this one to maybe have a pop back up tomorrow. I really feel like this one got bearish. And if we look at the chart here, there's actually a pretty big double bottom going on here. I'm going to mark this on the chart just so everybody can see the big support right down here, right around 164. So this is a pretty big level. I think as long as we can hold this and start to break back up tomorrow, we might be able to catch some good momentum back to the upside. If not, obviously, and we break the support down, I feel like then, puts might be a good way to go, or just maybe look at some other stocks in the market. But I'm going to really watch GLD. It seems like it's a little bit oversold over the past couple of days. So definitely going to keep my eyes on that one, Mike. And then for some stocks to the upside, of course, I'm going to keep my eyes on Cisco. Can't forget about them. And then obviously I'm going to watch good old DraftKings. I will say, Mike, these growth stocks, they are also getting a little bit overextended. It looks like DraftKings might even be taking us maybe a bit of a shorter term dip here over the next week or so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised considering it's basically doubled since its low recently. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. Even the growth plays are a little bit overextended to the upside. Besides that, guys, don't forget to join the Stocked Up Discord trading group. It's completely free. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And besides that, let's end the week strong.